Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to share with you a very simple and delicious couscous recipe. You can use that for a very healthy lunch or a light dinner. So in the recipe you will have 150 grams of couscous, one small sweet potato or pumpkin, 500, around like half of the cauliflower, 6 tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 small red onion, or you can use shallots if you find the onion flavor is too strong for you. And we have some washed and dried baby spinach, and that's pretty much it. And you can also add, personally I really like tomato, so I have some cherry tomato. You can cut it into quarter or half, just mix with the couscous in the end. And also I have pomegranate. It's a very summer-ish, very sweet combination for your couscous. So we can start the preparations. First of all, I've around 1 liter of water ready to boil, because I need my couscous to be cooked, and I will have a pan for cooking. And you can also cook the sweet potato or pumpkin into a pan, or you put it in the oven for 20 or 25 minutes depending on the size of your cut. Yeah, we can start. So here is half of my sweet potato. You can also change the ratio to be a slightly more or less, depending on whether you like sweet potato or not. So I slice them into about 1 centimeter. In the recipe we say 2 centimeter because I really wanted to cook us quicker. So if you prefer the same way as I do, you can also cut into 1 centimeter or even smaller. So we are aiming to cut into small cubes, which is easier for you to cook. For me, I personally like the slightly earthy and the texture of the skin, so I never really peel the skin. You give the sweet potato a very nice wash before you cut it, then you don't really need to peel it, and it's actually gives a very nice interesting texture after you roast them. So and also if you can have your bowl, I find it's really helpful when you're in the kitchen. You prepare and after you can just pour it into a bowl. And so now this is our diced sweet potato ready to use. So you can have a small tray. I have a small tray, and I will just put it in. So just a touch of olive oil and a pinch of salt. Salt and pepper. Just give a little bit shake. Mix well. You can also put some paprika if you like some spice. And it's very common if you use cumin or some oregano, dried oregano, that will be also tasty. So I have my oven preheat to 180, so I just put it in the oven and set up a timer for 20 or even less. Give it 50 minutes because I dice it into like even less than 1 centimeter. So give it 50 minutes, then we will see. And And after that, I'm gonna prepare the cauliflower. So here is a really good substitute couscous recipe if you don't really want to use carbs in your diet. So instead of using couscous, you can use cauliflower couscous. So what you can do is you prepare a container and you use the grater. You can use the big side of grater or the smaller size, depending on which kind of like texture you want. So I was just gonna use the big side. Then I just use the whole cauliflower, just grate it. Actually, maybe I would just swap to another bigger container. It's easier for me. Much easier. So be very careful when you grate it because it's really sharp. You don't want to slice part of your fingers inside your couscous. So I will grate a little bit more later, but now I want to show you the texture. The appearance is really similar to the couscous. Then all you want to do is just heat it up the pan to medium heat, add a bit of oil, and just toast your cauliflower couscous so until they are cooked. So that will be a perfect gluten-free couscous. But today you want to cut into your couscous, cut your cauliflower into small pieces and mix with your couscous. You can thinly slice it and just roughly chop. Here we go. So next, I'm going to show you how to dice the onion. You can either slice very thinly of your red onion, here's our sliced red onion. Or you can just cut some. I'm going to cut the last 3 pieces into dice. So it gives a little bit different texture and also different. For me personally, I really like the shallots. It gives a lighter flavor and also a very subtle sweetness. So different with the red onions. If you don't particularly like onions, you don't really need to put it. And I would suggest you use shallots. And depending on the size, a small size shallots, you can put 1 shallot or even half. Then when you cut it into half, So you cut in half and just not very thinly slice it. Gives a very rough chop. And you can put it together with your red onions. And after that, I'm gonna prepare my cherry tomato. I'm just gonna cut into half. So now it's really good season for tomatoes. So you can also buy different colors. It's really nice to give a juicy, like, sweetness and a little bit acidic to your couscous bowl. So here we go. And for now we have everything ready for our couscous dish. And all I need is my water is almost to boil. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes. Everything's good, and my sweet potato is cooking, so there are 9 minutes left. And for now, I also want to prepare the pomegranate. So, how to prepare pomegranate? You use your blade. Remember, as before, how we cut avocado. So it's very similar to the pomegranate. You don't cut through, but you just use your blade to feel that. You will feel a little bit resistant, then that's when you want to stop. So it gives a little bit twist. You have a bowl, then you will just open it. Then you will just use your hand to gently pour. Maybe give another turn. Yeah. It should be very easy to pull. And prepare a bowl. So gently pour everything into the bowl. You're ready for use. Look at the juice. Be very careful with the pomegranate juice. It's very delicious, but you don't really want to get the red color get all over your clothes. So now my water is boiling. So I'm gonna use the pearl couscous. The most common one is tiny one. You don't really need to boil for a long time. But this one, based on the instruction, but before you cook any type of couscous, do read the instruction on the back of the package. So here it says I need to simmer for 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna use that. Just pour a little bit inside. Need to cool. And just about perfect time, together with my sweet potato. I really like the texture of the big couscous. So I normally will buy a giant one. So if you can go to the supermarket, you will find a variety. They have whole grain couscous as well. And they have different colors, the green one, the red one. If you really want a very rainbow bowl of your couscous. So you can also mix different types of couscous. Just be very careful with the boiling water. So it's so maybe not. And meanwhile, I can prepare, because I also prepared the cauliflower. So prepare your pan. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil. So I want a little bit more couscous cauliflower. So I'm just going to grate it a little bit more. Try to make your cauliflower into similar size because it will help them to cook evenly. So for cauliflower, you can also boil them. You can actually use the same pots. You boil also the couscous, so you don't have to wait another. And if you like different flavors in your salads, you can actually boil a little bit more cauliflower. They will stay, if you keep in a container in the fridge, they will stay longer in the fridge, about like up to 3 days. So you can pre-boil most of your cauliflower and keep them cool down in the fridge. So every time when you have your salad, have your cold dish, you can just put a little bit cauliflower on top. So I understand, because if you want to cook at home, you really want to have like minimum time to prepare a delicious, healthy dish for you. Oh, just be careful. So once the oil is hot, so you just add your cauliflower into the pan. Add a bit of salt and pepper. You can also add a little bit different spice or herbs if you like. So if you like crunchiness from the cauliflower, you can cook it even less. If you like soft, so of course you can cook a little bit longer. So I have 2 different sizes of cauliflower. The finger size, I'm going to cook first until it's like almost cooked. Then I will add my very couscous cauliflower size and to just give it a little bit final stir. So my sweet potato has 3 minutes. It will be ready. I will check. So for the sliced onion, if you like freshness, you can use the raw red onion. But I would like to cook a little bit more. Then you can, at this time, you can put your red onions together. Also a little bit of salt. Smells really, really nice. It's interesting because the raw onions gives a very strong and onion garlic flavor. It's a little spice, but when you cook it, all the flavor transfer into a very subtle slight sweetness, so which is really nice. Now I'm on the high heat because you don't really need a lot of time to cook them. I really like this kind of smell. Really nice. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit of water because I didn't. Okay, now my cauliflower is almost cooked, so I just add the last. I just grated the cauliflower to mix. It actually smells really nice. I personally love cumin, so I also add grounded cumin to give a little bit spice. So you can add any spice if you like. To finish, you can also chop some fresh herbs. So by now my onion is already very soft. It's a little bit caramelized, and also the cauliflower bits, it's already also got a pan-fried texture, and it's very nice smell. And now I'm gonna check my sweet potato. I think should be by now it's cooked. So you can quite see, so all the sweet potato, it's got nice, like slightly roasted. Yeah, it's cooked. So I will leave it to cool down. And also my couscous have 1 minute left to cook. So I already switched off the heat for my pan, and it's almost cooked. So I'm gonna prepare. Yeah, it's cooked. Just let's just taste one to see if it's fully cooked. Yeah, it's perfect. Switch off the light. So now I'm gonna use the colander to drain my couscous. So I'm gonna leave the couscous to drain the water a little bit. Let's give a taste. So always taste your food. I think I'm missing just a pinch of salt, so a little bit of pepper. Great. At this stage, it's okay if you slightly put a little bit more salt in your cauliflower mix, because you also need to mix with spinach and the couscous, so you can also balance the flavor a little bit. So now we have our diced sweet potato and the cauliflower and the spring cauliflower and sliced red onions and the couscous, pomegranate, cherry tomato, and fresh sliced red onions and shallots. So the final touch, I'm gonna just roughly chop some of my spinach. You don't have to chop it if you like the big leaf. So I'm just gonna mix together. And here's our dressing parts. So I would recommend, if you are not a big fan, in our recipe we have 1 avocado. You can slice and smash and mix with lemon and make a nice guacamole. But if you don't really like avocado, you don't have to. You can use hummus. You can also use some yogurt, plain yogurt if you prefer. So in our recipe we have yogurt, and you can also use some spread cheese. And for me, for the dressing, I also, if you like to a little bit different flavors, I would recommend you to use tahini, which is a roasted sesame paste. So just to pour a little bit tahini, you can easily find in any Turkish or any Asian shop. So mixed with your couscous. If it's really, really different flavors, but can be very very earthy, very rich flavors. And for me, I would like to have a fresh lemon juice and the lime juice. That would be perfect. So it's totally up to you to make the dressing. So I'm gonna skip that today, because it's a very simple. You just mix everything and dress on your couscous. So for now, prepare yourself a very nice big bowl. That's a really big bowl. And if you cook for yourself, or cook for 2 of you, you can have a smaller bowls. So for everything, I'm just gonna make a nice bowl. All the ingredients we prepared today, you can also keep in a container, cool it down, keep it in the fridge, and you can use it for the next day for different dish. Beautiful. Really, really nice. So here I have some lemon. I'm just gonna cut it. And also I have some lime. Just put it here. So I'll give a nice squeeze. Also some lime. And more pepper. I really like pepper. So here we go. This is our couscous and lovely lunch. So hope you enjoyed today's video. So we'll see you next time.